Well, one graphic element that's really strong that you can add on the surface are words. And Andrea Bishop from the Electric Quilt Company is back to show us how to do that. Welcome.
Thanks for having me. This was such an exciting project to do.
And really fun. I love words. I always put words on quilts whenever I can. And the first thing you could do is actually take some out of magazines.
Right. You just chop them up and put them on your scanner bed and scan away.
Because the point is to really get them into the computer to print them out onto sheets of fabric. And you can also go through your image library and see if there are other images that you have. And you have some beautiful ones.
Right. Well, these first ones were chopped up from the magazines and I took digital pictures. This is a picture of some books on my bookshelf. There's all sorts of stuff.
Shoes. What women doesn't like to talk about shoes?
Yes, and there's also other ideas like
that's a beautiful shot.
Wallpaper or little marbles with letters on them. You could do kids blocks.
That would be nice on a black and white quilt.
And keep in mind, if you don't have the magazines to chop up, you can always put letters on top of pictures you
have.
In
like a photo editing software?
Yes.
Well, let's take a look at some of the printouts on the fabric sheets to see what we have. Oh, these are really fun together. And tell me a little bit about this quilt.
Well, here I wanted to have the letters on their own, not spelling anything. I wanted them kind of in a row format. And so we printed them on fabric, and you'll see the H from shoes is here.
And we should actually quickly mention how you would actually set the ink, because it depends on the type how you'd set it. And for this, you would actually peel it off and dunk it into water, correct?
Right, and that'll release the excess surface ink and set the image.
It has a really soft hand to it. I have to say, it feels just like the other. It's not stiff. Sometimes you can get the stiffness, but this one seems nice.
It quilts like a dream.
And let's look at this quilt here.
This one, it has letters and it spells out Night and Day, which is the title of the quilt. The white letters have a bit of a black outline, and then they're fused and stitched down. So this is another way. You could do a word, a phrase, a poem.
And fuse it down. And on this third quilt here, this looks like somebody scanned in a journal entry.
Right. Why have just, boring white snow? You could do a whole story about the kids building their first snowman if you wanted to. And you don't have to stop with just journal pages.
And this way, you actually can practice on a piece of paper. You don't actually write right on the quilt, so you wouldn't want to make a mistake.
Right.
And you could also scan in marriage certificates or birth certificates.
Yeah, and pair them with the photos from the event itself.
Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you so much for coming.
My pleasure.
And I'll be right back on location with Beryl Taylor.